So I tried to do this seminar, and thanks for being here, Maria. And I will try to concise the topic as much as possible. So I kept the topic a bit broader, saying that the life after 40s for women. You can broadly say that this is like this is about menopause, because most of the time women these days, I think every problem they get after 40, they correlate to menopause and about their hormones. This is what also the nowadays the modern society or the science also takes as it really label everything in the term of hormonal changes which is happening. Actually, half of it is life changes, which is observable for everyone. I think every human after 40s they undergo certain changes in life. The parents gets old, or the children mature, the difficulty to handle with the professional life, difficult. So that challenges which we also face during this period of life in 40s. This is something you can also keep in mind when you completely talk about everything in the box of menopause. So first point I would like to say, I would like to give it more like describe this based on what points we would like to discuss today. I would like to discuss today. So the first thing to introduce about the menopause, um, one notion or a kind of idea what everybody has, this is like a disease or a kind of everybody consider it more like um, a big disease itself, or a kind of which thing which needs to be treated. Actually, it is a kind of normal transition, like everybody who travels in the flight. This is what I used to say to every client who comes to me. uh, when we go in a flight, we have a kind of elevated level. We are in the air. At one point of time we land, and we have to land. Of course, we cannot be in the air for very long. Mm, so, and then during the landing, there is some disturbances. And as smooth as possible, we would like to land, get into the ground. So I correlate this transformation of hormones or kind of grounding, which is happening in the late 40s or beginning of 50s for women. So it is a kind of hormonal phase of life is getting transferred. How we say transition is happening. So one way of regarding this transformation, we all these days in modern life, we don't. I think we don't so much appreciate aging. Its appreciation of aging means it doesn't mean ignoring the problems which which is associated with aging, but also ignoring the benefits of aging, let's say, or what the life brings to us when we get older. So the wisdom, the experience which we get, or the emotional resilience which we are able to develop, handling different personal stress and adversities which happened all through these years. This can say that we have an opportunity when we age to develop a kind of better mental health. So every crisis, if you utilize for your benefit, I would say that is more sustainable or more helpful. And we develop a kind of self-confidence through these 8 years. And these years are more like when we age, it is more time when everybody look for meaning of life, or rather meaningful relationships. So they have better perspectives and priorities, or there is a kind of big opportunity of learning also. So this aging process, we should consider it into the opportunities which it really drives us to. Uh, there is also a lot of things which you can contribute to the society, and the society where you have developed a kind of experiences and a set of skills which we would be able to make contribution to the society. So and perhaps we also develop the financial stability in this age. What I want to say is, rather than considering this after 40 situation as a kind of crisis, look at the opportunities, and then probably that can be also be a positive situation. You could convert it into a positive scenario and situation. So, being said that, explaining about woman life, so it's like, as I told you, it is like a sailing, which is happening like in a kind of waves of hormones. Woman's life is basically like hormonal changes, which is happening everyday basis. So that waves which comes in this sea of ocean of struggles, which you need to go through smoothly. So that is what the Ayurveda or any health science would like to emphasize or try to help. So talking about hormonal changes, so basically there is the hormones which plays are estrogen, progesterone, and follicle stimulating hormone, which is called as FSH. So estrogen, progesterone, maybe you have heard of, but follicle stimulating hormone, LH, luteinizing hormone, maybe not. Uh, to summarize it, to say in short, normal hormonal cycle is basically 28 days, and on the day one there is bleeding, which happens at this point where there is estrogen and progesterone at its lowest level. Then the next phase is basically the next phase is when pituitary gland is stimulated to produce the follicle stimulating hormone, which is encouraging the follicles in the ovary to ripen. So imagine follicles in the ovary. Every woman have two ovaries when they are born, and certain number of follicles in it. So you can imagine popcorn, how you get popcorn. So the corns are every time like put into heat, and then it just comes up. Uh, and the less the cones are left out, this popping up phenomenon can be slowed down. So every month there is a follicle which will be matured, because with the stimulation of follicle stimulating hormone. So the follicles will be stimulated to produce the grow into ovum. So that is the normal process. So maybe most of you knows this. And these follicles are actually, when they develop, they produce secrete the estrogen. So follicle stimulating hormone is increasing slowly from the day 1 to 5, and gradually it declines until day of 12, let's say, where there is a highest level. And then estrogen levels gradually goes up, because the follicles will slowly mature to ovum, and it produces the estrogen. So there is a estrogen elevation happening in the follicular stage, and then there is a surge between the 9 to 12 days. We also see luteinizing hormone surge, which is also triggered by this rising estrogens. Then start the second phase, the menstrual cycle. The second phase is called as luteal phase. During this phase, the corpus luteum, which is formed into a kind of is formed from corpus luteum is formed from the empty follicle, which will become like a ovum, the follicle which matures into ovum, so that and this corpus luteum's main function is to secrete large amount of progesterone, so and small amount of estrogen. So progesterone is the hormone which basically helps in maturing the uterine lining created by estrogen to prepare for the pregnancy. So in the second phase, when the ovum has to has to get fertilized and then mature to a baby, this hormone of progesterone um, helps into producing it a kind of helpful place to grow. So when progesterone reaches its peak, then the pituitary gland is signaling to stop producing luteinizing hormone. At this point, follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormones are not produced. And corpus luteum still produces estrogen and progesterone until the day of 22. And if the fertilization occurs, the fertilized egg will begin to secrete the hormones itself by itself its own. So after the if the fertilization doesn't happen, then there is a quick decrease of estrogen and progesterone. So in short, there is a first phase of follicle FSH hormone elevation. Then there is if the ovum is going to get matured, if there is enough of follicle is there enough, then it produces estrogen, and then it leads to production of LH hormone and also progesterone. So what will happen if there is lack of these, I told you, the cones to mature? So as the woman age by after 40s, the number of follicles reduces. So the follicular reserve reduces. So because of that, later the production of the estrogen itself will get compromised. So without estrogen and progesterone, the blood vessels in the uterine cavity will go into usually spasm. That is what the contraction, the pain happens during the periods. So uterine lines break down, and the blood cells and the mucus that is making up the lining will be shedded, and then the bleeding will follow. This is what normal cycle is, but in menopausal stage, which I explained now already, the physiology is like when the follicular reserve is reduced, hormones are also reduced. So according to Ayurveda, the average, according to the sources which we say 50 to 51 years, on average, woman gets menopause. 45 can be considered as a early menopause, but even basically saying, as I told you, any flight which is on the air slowly leaves it cruising level and slowly go down to before the landing. Uh, the menopause also happens the same way after 30s and 40s, let's say 30s and late 35 onwards, let's say after late 35s, after 35s, late 30s, sorry, not late 35s, late 30s, there is already a marking changes which is happening in estrogen, progesterone, follicle FSH, LH levels. So what happens is when there is not enough of follicles developing, estrogen, progesterone reduces, but still FSH will keep increasing because it is the follicle stimulating hormone which is produced from pituitary, which is not giving any results to make the ovum to develop, but still it keeps stimulated, it keeps produced. So that increased level of FSH levels in response to attempt to grow the follicles to produce a good egg, is not fruitful anymore. So in perimenopausal years, the levels of sex hormones continue to gradually drop. At menopause, there is a significant drop of estrogen and progesterone. So that is what. And if you consider this, mm, the estrogen levels still comparatively there is a um, 35 to 50 years, there is estrogen 30, around 35% of reduction, which happens. Whereas you can see in the case of progesterone, so this is the interesting factor, progesterone, it reduces around 75%. So estrogen still gets produced to some level, but there is relatively very low level of progesterone which happens. So in early these perimenopausal situations, usually the lower hormone, the hormone which is still lower most of the time is progesterone. So that is another interesting scenario. Most of the time, everybody supplements the things which is like even in case of natural herbal supplements, they try to supplement more phytoestrogens, whereas most of the time there is enough sometimes comparatively enough estrogen. So this balance between these hormones is more also a problem. Yeah. So every other problems are basically every other symptom or a kind of scenario, any kind of disturbances which you feel is basically the reasons of the reason is behind this is this hormonal disbalance. So we explain the hormonal disbalance which is happening in the uh, prior to menopause. So the just defining few things, uh, talking about perimenopause. Uh, in Ayurveda, we don't have a very specific term like perimenopause because Ayurveda considers the aging process. This whole situation as a kind of swabhavika or natural process, nothing like, and it is unavoidable. It says Ayurveda says this is an unavoidable situation and it is a natural transition which happens. So there is this shift which is happening. So to in classically to define menopause, you need to have 1 year of no periods, no menstrual cycle. But before that, already you would have started getting these irregularities of menstrual cycle. So this phase where there is this irregular periods are happening, you can consider it as perimenopausal time. So perimenopause, already we can say that this is like mm, the comprehension can be still more better if you take a kind of a example of a wooden house or wood itself. Let's say wood. You can say when the wood is very dry and without moisture, it can break very fast, and that's why we say if you oleate it and give a steam or fumigation, I mean a little bit of steam to it, it can become more flexible. So unctuousness of this point is about unctuousness, vata element. So keeping it flexible, lubricated, unctuous is very important. So similarly, if these disbalances which is happening in our life crisis or life situations, and also with the aging process, this disbalances affects more when there is this vata element predominance in our body. So as you know, there are three doshas in Ayurveda: vata, pitta, and kapha. Vata is a air element and space element, which is characterized by more of dryness, lightness, minuteness, and very fast movements, subtlety, very quickly changing, irregularity. Whereas Pitta stands for the fire element, fire and water element together. So there it is more sharp and hot and more regular, little more unctuous, and it can produce different transformations because it is the principle of metabolism or the fire, the transformatory principle, you can say. So wherever hormones and metabolism is connected, we say about pitta dosha. And the third one is kapha dosha. Kapha dosha is standing for water element, earth element together. And this is the principle of stability, groundedness, which has characteristics of unctuousness, principle of growth, which helps in nourishment, like this, so on. So here in this scenario, when there is degenerative changes, or let's say uh, aging process which is happening. So what dosha will be naturally increasing is vata dosha. This most of the people knows. And in many cases, there is also pitta dosha, which is also predominant. Pitta is also playing some part of it. And there is a kind of depletion of kapha dosha. So people who has pitta and vata body types in experience, they feel more feel more of problems of hormonal imbalances because the estrogen and progesterone, it does various functions. It is very important hormone for many of the general functions, let's say nerve functions, or cardiac function, metabolic functions, mental health, mm, so on. There is the skin health, production of the metabolism, to maintain the good amount of metabolism, maintaining healthy metabolism, and the bone health, so on. So there is it's basically like a nourishing hormone for you, let's say. It has kind of kapha characters. I won't say it is hormone is kapha, but it may have a kind of characters of kapha. So that protection you are losing. So you are going towards the vata shift. So dosha shift is basically vata element, which is increasing. There is irregular periods during perimenopause. Sometimes hot flashes happens during the nights. And these irregular periods are, we can consider it into vata disbalance, let's say. And hot flashes, many times it can be also attributed to pitta and vata. Like we can, of course, vata is invariably there. Mood swings and irritability, it is more considered in vata situation, vata dosha imbalance. Sleep disturbances, vaginal dryness is vata, and also decrease in kapha, and weight changes. So where the metabolic health is also compromised. So this is about perimenopause, um, early changes which is happening in before this cessation or stopping of um, menstrual cycle. So, if we analyze among the doshas, dhatus, and every aspects in Ayurveda, we say the dhatu kshaya is happening, or the tissue development or the growth level is happening, breakdown is happening, or the kind of nourishment is not so much happening, and it is the dhatus are not properly formed, or the ojas is depleted. So we have seven dhatus in Ayurveda. We say rasa dhatu, rakta dhatu, mamsa, asti, majja, shukra, those. And when the estrogen, the sex hormones, estrogen, progesterone levels are dropping down, the sex hormones are dropped down, we consider it into shukra dhatu kshaya. And this is the transition which is also can be there in males even. Of course, they don't feel the hot flashes, but these transformations of mental health, for example, many of the transition is also happening with the males. But of course, the decline of testosterone doesn't happen so much as quickly as progesterone and estrogen is happening. So still they are having less sharp symptoms of uh, something like menopause. So now I will talk about, in short, about Ayurvedic management, or kind of what can be beneficial for managing different symptoms of menopause. So we could consider different symptoms in different criterias, which is different doshas and also dhatu levels. And in general, the first importance is given to improving the digestion, or the Agni level. In that, metabolism is also one thing, not only digestive fire, also the metabolic fire to improve. So different herbs, different dinacharyas and ritucharyas are being also explained, and also therapies or treatments are being explained. So everything is been given importance to improve the metabolism, or the digestion and metabolism, and plus to get this dhatu samya, or the kind of homeostasis between the tissues. So Ayurveda says the vata pacifying diet, which is more like predominating with a sweet, sour, salty taste, which is calming the vata. So favoring the warm cooked foods, and warm foods are more advised. Unctuous foods are advised. Cooked grains and cooked vegetables are more advised. Cooked cereals, soups are more advised than the crunchy or too much of uncooked vegetables. Healthy fats are very important. So this is in general, in every aspect. If you see whether it is metabolic health or bone health, whether it is mental health, everywhere these points will repeat. Olive oil, sunflower oil, organic sesame oil, uh, the most beneficial, the ghee, and avoiding too much of the stimulative things, which is more also dehydrating food. They are very important to be avoided. So overstimulating things like coffee, alcohol, and spicy food, or alcohol, these things has to be reduced. While pacifying Vata diet, it is important to follow the rituals and routines in a kind of terms of timing of the food. So timing of the food is very important for balancing the Vata dosha. So regularity is the key for irregularity. Is the key for managing the ups and downs, which we disruptions we feel we get in the in this state of time. So hormones, if it is followed with a kind of a regular circadian, if you follow the circadian rhythm in life, like sleeping in time, waking up in time, eating the food in time, exercising at the same time, those basic routines, if you follow, that can really help to align the kind of the hormonal balance. So that principle is what we call it as dinacharya. So various studies in modern medicine is being is being done on circadian rhythm, circadian clock. Ayurveda has told this in the form of dinacharyas. Um, okay, so now a little more specific about the problems like the challenges which females gets. First of all, everybody says I'm following the same food, same exercising regimen, same routines, and even more I am taking care after 40s, but still I gained 10 kilos. So this is more like the metabolic slowdown, which everybody knows. Here, the biggest factor is the visceral fat, which is coming into play. This is the fat which is around the organs, um, which is particularly surrounding the vital organs, which is really making you having again the problems of heart and heart issues or diabetes and other liver related issues and all that. So this visceral fat is what more into taken into consideration here. The importance, I think, when you do exercises or taking care of the measurements, it is about waist to hip ratio is can be given a little more importance. So the because the belly fat around the above the belly, that fat is what more to be taken into focus to reduce. So the it is due to again hormones. Estrogen is helping in fat distribution. So the reduction of the estrogen causes the fat accumulation around the visceral organs. Metabolic slowdown, which is happening in everybody, that is invariably there. So this is added into that. And this add on to because of the add on to emotional eating, poor diet, or lack of physical activity because of responsibilities in personal life and more professional life, and stress, and poor sleep regime. The poor sleep, these are the kind of additional reasons which causes the growth, the development of visceral fat. So what to do? Focus on few key points, key areas, dietary changes again. So which you know most of the time. Limit the processed food as much as possible. Here you could what tricks we can follow is following more of healthy fats and proteins. More increase the intake of healthy fats and proteins, and also the fiber. The researchers shows that higher the fiber and healthy fats and proteins intake, there is considerable changes. So if you are doing that, then you are in the right track. Uh, and that can reduce the emotional eating itself. So usually I tell to people that fill the stomach earlier before you get this mood, before you get this hunger attacks in the evening. Most of the people who skips the breakfast and lunch, they must eat breakfast and lunch. Healthy proteins and enough of healthy fats has to be there. If you like, you can also start the day taking ghee, 1 teaspoon of ghee, or 2 spoons of flaxseed soaked, because this is fiber and fat, which will also fill up the stomach very long time, and then you won't have so much hunger all through the day. So never take the coffee on empty stomach. Instead of that, you can take the some herbal teas with ghee, and followed by that some proteinaceous things, hard cheeses, or goat cheese, or avocado if you are vegetarian, and vegan or vegetarian. If you are non-vegetarian, boiled eggs or something like this, which can also provide enough of proteins during the breakfast hours. So emphasize the distribution of protein, fat, healthy fats, and fibers in every meal. Um, yes, regular exercises. So here, combining the strength training and uh, aerobic exercises, this is important. So nowadays everybody says developing more muscle mass is very helpful. Of course, it has been proven in many ways that it reduces the insulin resistance, absorption of the better metabolism, absorption of the sugars from the blood. So training, muscle training, strength training, this is the resistance training, this is very helpful as well. Stress management. So stress management is major point here, because even many times when there is high amount of cortisol, we gain weight, and when you have that hormonal support of positive mental frame from estrogen, positive scenario in the brain. You don't feel good in the brain when you have lack of hormones. That also makes you more stressful and not able to handle the stress. The tolerance, stress tolerance is reduced. So practice the yoga, meditation invariably every day in the morning. Spend some time in the nature every weekend. Develop the hobbies, what you enjoy. So, and that has to be very much followed like a routine. And stress management, yes, practices the along with the stress management, the sleep. Regular sleep is important for also reducing your uh, improving your emotional well-being, emotional health as well. So that also reduces the stress responses. When you sleep around 7 to 9 hours every night, you will be better to take care of the better able to navigate through this stressful scenario. So about next about the bone health, a few things about bone health. Few guidelines. You can understand that it is because the estrogen is very helpful in reducing the how you say um, uh, resorption of the bones. Resorption means the bones doesn't get liquefied or melted into the blood in a very superficial way to say. The minerals like calcium, for example, doesn't go away from the bone, doesn't get liquefied and put into the blood. It will not go away from the bones. So that resorption is reduced by estrogen. So that resorption, that protection, when the estrogen level goes down, then there is more chances your bone is liquefied, let's say, more going the minerals from the bones goes into the blood, and the calcium is reduced. So that results in the osteoporosis. You can say it is significantly increased. Many people gets this problem. So especially people who are sedentary. So when you exercise, that is the importance of exercise. So when you exercise, you are giving kind of pressure to the bones, or kind of micro injuries to the bones, let's say, which is stimulating the process of bone growth. So stimulates the risk of bone loss. So that's why you could definitely take care of bone health by taking vitamin D, higher amount of bone vitamin D, and of course, balanced diet intake. Here, I will again give importance to taking good fats and proteins, healthy fats and proteins. People who very much highly emphasizing about the diet, the very restricted diet, if they don't closely focus on their nutrition part, not taking enough of fat and proteins, this will make them to have more chances to get osteoporosis. Digestive health is important because digestive agni is very important for absorption of calcium and vitamins to minerals to improve the bone density. Um, Important idea, one another important helpful thing to do is oil application, sesame oil, for example. This is helpful to reduce the vata element, and it will reduce the improve the circulation and bone health in Ayurveda, we say. Internally as well, sesame oil, sesame paste like tahini can be also used. Milk products, if it is tolerated well, it can be a good source of calcium. Leafy green vegetables, if it is cooked and taken, that is more better. Sunlight exposure, so go out in the sun whenever there is whenever there is a possibility, and exercise when there is sun. That is more beneficial also for the nervous system, your mind, your brain. So it will be, yeah. Weight bearing exercises. This is what I told about the bone health, to improve the bone health. If you do exercises which is like strength training or weight bearing exercises, even it can be few times in a week, going for light running or brisk walking, those kind of stress reduction techniques can be also yoga. So that also is a kind of good exercise regime. Um, Panchakarma, the kind of different detoxification methods are also beneficial for this. So oil massages, oil therapies, along with detoxes, can also help for mental health. Sorry, bone health. Sorry. Then we will talk about the mental health, because estrogen is also very neuroprotective. It protects from memory loss. Because it is very helpful for because it is helpful for improving the focus and also tranquility. It is helpful for emotional balance. So that support is being many times lost. Um, Estrogen progesterone balance, when it is lost, you feel more emotional disturbances like anxiety, nervousness, insomnia. This is sleep disturbances, uh, irregular energy levels, so erratic energy. Sometimes you have enough energy, sometimes no. So there, ojas, improving the ojas. This is something, again, repetition. Many things are repeated. You can say focusing on reducing the ama or toxins is important. So for that, again, repeated advice is to improve the digestion. Again, water reducing food, grounding food, that is warm and cooked food, pitta kapha balancing diet based on the body type. That can be helpful. Routines, balanced routines can be helpful. Meditation, yoga, pranayama, breathing exercises, sleep, we already discussed. So I think the even about the other challenges like cardiovascular health, these advices are applicable because cardiovascular health also depends on metabolic health, like we discussed. So most of the time, this LDL level goes high in menopausal women, and because the fat metabolism is not happening very well, and also visceral fat is increasing, and they will develop more insulin resistance. Here, again, the similar advices stands good. Stress management, improving the digestive fire like Agni, exercises, regular cleansing procedures like detoxification, like in Ayurveda. This can also protect. Management of blood pressure is very essential, at least after late 50s. There can be some people who has higher blood pressure, so managing the blood pressure is very essential. So reducing the salt intake and stress management, improving the sleep hygiene. This is helpful. If it is necessary, you could also take Ayurvedic herbs as well, along with the external Ayurvedic therapies for cardiovascular health. So the disturbances which is happening most of the time, there is more chances are, so whomever lives longer, everybody gets heart problem these days. Everybody says, the doctor says, the literature also says, because you have longer lifespan, the cardiac health has to be maintained at a priority. Most of the people have longer lifespan, so cardiac health is a kind of invariable necessity. So here the diets and regimens which has been explained in Ayurveda, that has to be followed. About reproductive health, again, the similar advices again stands well, but some of the symptoms like vaginal dryness, urinary issues, libido, these or maintaining overall reproductive health, these are few of the challenges which is there. So it connects, the dryness connects to decrease of kapha dosha or increased vata dosha. So definitely you can apply again the principle of increasing the healthy fats and reducing the drying food. So there definitely there can be herbs like shatavari which can also improve the this condition, or licorice. You can ask to Ayurveda consultants, and you can also follow those things based on your body type. Lifestyle changes, and so priority, the food which is have priority is for the foods which has also a good amount of healthy fats, we discussed already. Urinary problems, so urinary issues happens because the pelvic floor is losing the strength. So strengthening the pelvic muscles. So keep doing these Kegels exercises, which strengthens the pelvic floor. Also, some of the exercises, even when you do in the trainings like strengthening and resistance training, they can also increase the muscles around the hip region. That can be also a kind of help. Libido, for example, for that matter, focus on the foods which is helpful for ojas to improve, the energy levels to improve. Stress management is also important in this. Meditation, yoga applies. Yes. Different types of herbal remedies also can be applicable in this situation. So I gave some examples of it. So, so now I will conclude it here, and we'll continue next week or other weeks when we find time about the other topics of menopausal or women after 50s, 40s. So thank you for patient listening, and if you in case have any questions or doubts, please send the messages here to me, or for consultations, of course. You can let me know if you in the chat if you like to have an appointment. So thanks for being here, and have a good day.
Thank you, Dr. Danil.
Thank you.